The Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. My name is DonivanGray, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided that I am going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting my journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanGray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. So we've been making content for the last 5 years, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 4, page 199. Today's date is Friday, January 19th, and it is 1:16 p.m. Okay? So before we start off with the topics of the day, we begin with screen time. That's when me and my baby girl check our phone to see how much time we spent on it last week. As I always say, if we are not taking advantage of our phone, then our phone is taking advantage of us, and you cannot have that. This week, I spent an average of 7 hours and 28 minutes on my phone every day. And honestly, if we being honest, like honestly, it's not terrible. No, that's bad. Like, it's high. I spent 13 hours on my phone yesterday. How's that possible? Oh, I know what happened. Technically, this is not right. So honest, let me see. Yeah, no, this is, let me see, 8 hours. Yeah. So yesterday I was on my phone. How did I spend 13 hours on my phone? This can't be correct. Well, I was on the phone for a lot. I had a very an emotional workout. There you go. I had a very emotional workout yesterday, and I was on the phone for several hours with different people. And I think that's why my time is so high, because it doesn't have phone on here, which I thought was interesting. Because I only spent 4 hours on YouTube Studio and an hour and 4 minutes on X, but somehow I spent 13 hours on my phone. So how is it that in one day my highest used app is 4 hours, but I still have an additional 8 hours of time? So for the week, my most used app was X for 11 hours and 28 minutes, which is less than 2 hours a day, which is not bad. YouTube Studio for 6.5 hours, which is pretty good. Monopoly Go for 4 hours and 3 minutes. And then Instagram. Instagram is number 4. 1, 2, 3. Wow, check me out. I picked up my phone on average 90 times a day, which is amazing. It's down 25% from the week before. My first used app after pickup is X, Mail, then Messages. All right, baby girl, what was your screen time like last week?
Well, for my screen time for last week, it would be last week or this week?
This week.
This week.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I think I posted. This week I was on my phone on average 9 hours per day. My most used app is TikTok for 16 hours. Then Remote for 8 hours. Does that sound like I think I fell asleep with that one? Monopoly Go for 6 hours. Instagram for 5 hours.
6 hours for the whole week?
Instagram?
No, Monopoly Go.
Yeah.
Wow, it's not that hard.
And then my first used app after pickup is TikTok, then Messages, then Monopoly Go.
Ooh.
Which is kind of crazy because you remember it was never TikTok. So I think I've been picking up. Well, I was fake on it for a long time too. I was on it for 16 hours. And then Gmail after that.
Okay, now for the subscriber check. On our main channel, we are at 6,712 subscribers. And on the Candle channel, we are at 807 subscribers.
Woo!
Okay, video's been videoing. Now for the Instagram, we have been losing Instagram followers. We are currently at 889. We had cracked 900, and then they started going down. So I'll probably explain that a little bit in a second. That's at 1,500. That's the highest viewed one. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. I'm excited. Okay. So listen, guys, the last podcast was on Friday. No, it was on Sunday. We recorded it. As far as life updates, I don't think that there are much that I can think of that has happened. Except for one thing. Y'all know that we've been focusing on the content for social media. And I don't want to say it's blowing up, because it's not doing that. But it's having a consistent growth. And it's happening across multiple platforms. Now, the next thing is to figure out how to get it to grow even more. but also how to get it to turn into sales, right? Like, oh my god, it's so crazy. I'm gonna give you some of the numbers that we have been seeing over the last like couple days. I think since Sunday I've posted about 4 of them. So okay, on Instagram, right, here's the last 4 I posted. I only posted 2 on Instagram. Okay, so on Instagram it's 1511 and 206, right? So that 1500 one is the highest amount of views we have for a short of the series. The one after that, which was the last highest, was 1255. So before that, I'll give you some numbers. We were doing 461, 355, 366, 410, 596. Like we weren't cracking. We were doing like 500 ish, but we weren't cracking 1,000. And like high 9s or 8s were not really what we were seeing. So now we have that one video, we did 1,500. Another one of them did 700. Another one did 1,255. So I'm like, okay, and that's Instagram. So honestly, this is our least performing of all the platform, which is kind of interesting. And we've lost followers from posting these on here. I'm not sure why that would happen. I don't feel like it's content that would make somebody unfollow us, but that's what's happening. So I'm wondering, I mean, I don't think it'll make them come back, obviously, but I'm wondering if we have a mix of pictures that we've been working on with this content, if it'll change how they, if they're following or it's growing or not, right? So I think that's going to be very fun. So that's on Instagram. So I'm going to go to TikTok, okay? So on TikTok, that's a crazy hook. It was just a bottle of mayonnaise, I think, being squirted into a washing machine. I'm like, that looks crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the number for the last 1, 2, 3, 4 videos. All right, so we have, now before I say this, I want to preface it with this. On TikTok, what I've noticed is they have like this weird, it's kind of like a gauge of how good your content is, right? So if you post anything, for the most part, it'll get to like 220, 250, 260, something in that ballpark, like mid 200s, right? And then it'll just stop and nobody will see the content anymore. And we put up a lot of videos that just got hit into that number. Like if I go right now and just look, before the series, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody just stopped into like the 3s. This is in the when I was doing TikTok live. Those are like, some of them are in 300, but they're still like, there's not a variation of number, this is why I know it's on purpose. For me to post 12 or 15 videos or 20 videos and they all get within 100 views of each other, or even closer, like 20 views of each other, it's on purpose, which is fine, right? How I think that it works, and I've kind of heard something like this maybe about YouTube, is they're kind of like benchmarks, right? So I think that number is a benchmark. So they go, okay, if you hit 200, we're going to show it to 200 people and we're going to see how they respond to it. If we show this video to 250 people and no one really like interacts with it, they like it, they don't really watch the whole thing, you're done. We're not going to extend it anymore, right? I think what happens is they probably gauge how many people that we showed it to will then watch it. And they go, okay, cool. Let's now show it to more people and see how these people respond to it. And I think they just keep doing that until until it's a certain number, or it hits a certain audience that's like, I'm not really feeling this. That's what I think, right? So what I want to do is I want to find those benchmarks. I know, bless you, I know for one, it's like 250 on TikTok. Like, it's very obvious, right? So I've been wanting to break that number I just want to get to like 500. If I got to 500, I knew like, okay, we might have something here. Like this is progressing in the right direction. All I have to do now is go back into the video, watch it, and look at the analytics and see where are people dropping off from the video. Is it after the 4-second mark? Okay, they left at 4 seconds. Why? Did I say something? Was it a pause? Was it cut wrong? Did somebody in the background look funny? Was like, what happened at that mark? So I know for the next video, either the way I edit it or the way I shoot it will look different, right? So now I'm gonna read you the numbers of the last one. Remember what I just said, okay? So in the series, I just posted 4 videos from last Saturday, okay? It's 250, right? 895, 1070, 1,195. Those are the last 4 that I posted, right? Now, look at this. To be honest, that's kind of crazy. Did they change these numbers? Wow, I thought that's crazy. So that's interesting. There are videos on here from the series in the beginning that are at that number: 287, 266, 285, 272, 289, 261, 34. They're like literally in that ballpark. So it's interesting to see that there actually were something that broke out. So that's TikTok, right? Now I'm gonna go to Instagram. No, I'm gonna go to YouTube, because that's where things are getting real freaky on YouTube. Okay. Now I personally think, who do you think has more users? It's probably YouTube, right, than TikTok. Yeah. So I think that for YouTube, their number is like 1,500, 2,500, 4,500. And it's funny because I don't think a lot of people think about YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that as real estate, when it technically is. Like, you're buying space on their website, on their platform, right? So it's a limited resource. So they actually don't have the ability to show everything to everybody at the same time, right? So they have to pick, okay, if you're going to be on the phone for 5 minutes, right? We can show you 5 videos in that time period. So we can't show you six 1 minute videos in 5 minutes. We can't do that. So that means that the real estate we have for you is 5 minutes of time, right? So I think that what YouTube does is, I think that their number, like I said, is higher than what's that company called, than TikTok. So now I'm gonna go to the YouTube numbers on the YouTube Shorts. So the last video I posted got 375 views on here, right? I was like, damn, that's tough. Not very high, right? The one before that got 1,500 views on YouTube Shorts. It has 12 likes. The one before that, it started off very slow. It got 2,000 views, but only 10 likes. So I'm looking at like, okay, that ratio like number is not very high, right? Now the one before that has 5,400 views with 87 likes, right? So I'm like, okay, we on to something here. 87 likes is a lot of likes, like, in my opinion, for at least relative and comparative to what we've done in the past. That's a lot. The one before that has 2,600 likes. So the numbers are like, I can kind of see a trend of what's working and what's not working. And now here's the plan, right? So I have about maybe 10 more to post, and I want to re-edit them, and I want to see if anything changes in how they're edited and how people respond to them when they post it into the social media sphere. Like, if I change the color of the word, if I change the word, I think one thing I've noticed with Instagram is that content that's very fast does not do as well, which is it's not surprising, because I kind of heard that before, but it's actually funny to see in reality. So when I was watching, I was like, it's going kind of quick, and that video didn't do well. One of the videos we had that was a little bit longer because the person was speaking, that video did better. So I'm like, okay, once I figure out how to do that, how to garner the attention from the shorts, the next thing is, how do I convert that into sales? Okay, am I posting like, hey, buy this candle in the video? Am I putting it in the description? Am I putting like a picture on screen of the candle with the website name or things like that? Because once people are here, how do I get you to come and either come to the website or buy the candle, right? That's the first step, the top of the funnel. Now the next thing is, okay, people, this is something I think I learned with TikTok. I was posting the videos from CapCut onto TikTok and YouTube, right? And when I was looking at it, I'm like, oh wait, I could probably post a lot more stuff if I post. And when I say more stuff, I can have more information on the post. So I can have products on the post, I can tag location on the post, I can put music on the post, I can do a lot of different things if I post it from my phone, right? So when I went to post it from my phone, it said I could tag a product, and I'm like, bro, that's crazy, because I have I mean, we're not friends, but definitely acquaintances. The guy I told you that is making $50K a month on TikTok, right? You know what's crazy? Well, that couldn't all been from TikTok, but golly, because he doing 50K a month on TikTok. He just got like 20,000 orders like in 2 days, right? And how look at it is like this: if we have that candle, right, and the video goes viral, or not even viral, like a couple 100,000 views, something like that, that could translate into sales. But my brain was thinking that they will go to the website from there and buy it. And I forgot that you can buy directly from TikTok, from the TikTok shop. So I'm like, you know how easy it would be for someone to have a very good review of the candle, someone that's very charismatic, that could be pretty or handsome or has like a funny response. And then they go, wow, this candle is fucking amazing. Oh my God, I would have sex with this candle right now. If that video does well, people will see the goal. Oh, you know what? I'll try it out. So one thing we're doing is we're changing the vessel of the small candle so that it looks more appealing. And something like that, from what I've seen, will do well on TikTok because of the price point. I don't really see things on TikTok that have that are in the $60 range, especially for kind of like consumer type of products. Like, I think if you went on there and there was a mirror for $60, that will fly off the shelves. I think if you saw a TV that was 80 inches for $60, that will fly off the shelf. But when it comes to like, oh, let me buy this little trinket or this little comb or this cool gadget, it's like, ooh, 60 is kind of high. But 20 is not too bad. Like, you could spend $20 on it. And at that point, with that price point, we reach a lot of different people. So we can reach people who are younger, people who are in the average age, people who are older, because they see $20 for the price. And they can try it out without having to make an investment they feel like it's too big. So now once they try it, they go, oh, wow, I really like this candle. Let me go to the website and try to see if they have a bigger size. What other scents do they have? And you know what they might do? They might come on our website and go, let me check on what other videos I saw I might like. I like this people watching one. Last time I got room service, I'm going to try this one. Or they go on the website and see the videos. So these are things that I'm working towards to be able to have that be an inflow of orders on TikTok. Because at the end of the day, right, we drown it for the most part, right? Like, in terms of like, we're like, not drown, we're like flailing in the water. So the point I want to get to, of course, I want to make $10 billion, right? But I'm not going to do that tomorrow. So I need to get to a point where we can go, okay, we have money coming in that can pay our bills. That is the most important thing that we are focusing on. Having money that comes in that can cover just living expenses. That's it. Once we have that, then we could turn the knob on making, $500K in a month or $2 million a month, whatever the number is. We can start looking at cold emailing different people. We can look at doing fairs. We can look at going to doing corporate gifting. We can look at hiring people. We can look at warehouse. We can look at scaling, because we don't have to worry about, damn, am I going to eat? Am I going to be able to pay for this subscription? Am I going to be able to pay for the laundry? Am I going to be able to pay? Whatever the situation is, we haven't had that in like a month, maybe like 2 months, 3-ish. But like things like that. So that's the goal. But right now it's kind of like there's money going out, not money coming in. So we just have to work to fix that so that there's like more money coming in is going out, which is obviously common sense, right? And I look at it in my mind as building I don't want to say a puzzle. I look at it as the Hot Wheel track. You ever had Hot Wheels back in the day? Do you remember how you set up the track and you have to do the track first, set it up, connect all the different, hoops and the swirls and the upside down thing and the jumping. And then once you have it all set up, that's when you take the Hot Wheel, you put it on a little motorized thing and it shoots it down the whole Hot Wheel track. That's what I want. But we have to set it up first. And then I feel like once we get it on there, it will just be going. And that's what we're doing. I think people have raved about the website, which is good, right? That's good, because I feel like the website has made a big jump from where it was before. I think that we have crossed over into a point where people can look at the website and go, wow, that's you guys' website. That's really cool. But I don't think it's at a point where it competes with big websites like Capri Blue or Harlem Candle Co. It's not on that level yet. But I think if you compare us to like the average person going to sell at a craft fair or a market, I think we have a better website. Like if you took our old website compared to our new website, this one would blow it out the water. Like, and that was our knowledge at the time. And then 5 to 7 months from now, we're gonna look back at this website and be like, damn, this one was not even that good. And that's what I want. So that means that we're making progress. So just in the last day or two thing that we added was we added the email flow. So anybody that signs up for the pop-up will get that. It finally is like an actual bunch of emails you'll get, like, you know, after 2 or 3 days or whatever for each sign up. And we implemented a quiz. Now, my issue with the quiz right now is how it comes up on the website. It doesn't look very good, but that's better than having no quiz, right? So now what we're gonna do is tweak the quiz, and we'll move, you know, forward from there, seeing if people like it, where it comes up at, what's the timing of it, how much do they get through the quiz to the end, and does it get us any sales? I think that it will, because I think it's a thing that it's kind of like the craft fair. Like, people don't really know what they like or what we have, and if they have someone there to kind of point them in the right direction or recommend them something, they're probably more likely to go, you know what, I do think I'm gonna like this one. However, the only difference is they can't smell it. So because of that, as you guys may or may not know, at some point in time we will be also selling samples. So you can buy a sample online and you can just check which ones you like, right? So, you know, like I said, these are the things that we are working on as a company, or as a small business, or as a hobby, whatever you want to call it, you know. Now, on to the next topic. Okay. So I feel like I might have talked about this before on here. If I have, you know, let me know. But it's about Alex Hormozi. Okay. So I don't think I talk about him a lot on the podcast, because he's very successful in business, right? I think he's doing very well in business. I'm not going to discredit that or knock that. However, I think that the problem that I have is I've been in that space before of lack of empathy and by any means necessary, right? And I never liked being there, because it never felt right. Like, it never felt like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do to get to where you want to get to. And what I mean by that is you cut off everybody you're talking to, right? Anybody that's not helping you progress your goals, you don't talk to them anymore. Friends, family, you get rid of your pets, you get rid of anything that comes up in your life that is like, this slows me down from working or getting something done, I'm cutting them off, right? And it will work. I can't see how it wouldn't work if you did that, right? If every time you went outside, you only went to places that people were making money at, or in groups that you're trying to grow in, I think it would work. However, I think it's a disservice to yourself and to people watching you, because I don't think it's a healthy way to get to where you want to get to, right? Now, the reason I say this is because for him personally, this is something that I'm not for. I'm not a fan of this, right? Steroids and drugs and just kind of like enhancements. Now, with that being said, I have been on the fence about taking Adderall, but I've been fighting myself because of how I feel about it. And that's like, I know that a lot of the man-made things that we use are only created as a crutch for things that we don't have the strength to do ourselves, or we don't try to do it ourselves. So when I took Adderall before, when I was in college, it was amazing. I felt like I was in the Limitless movie. Every time I take it, it would be about 30 minutes. I can remember always my eyes feel like they open up. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, I feel it. I'm like, oh yeah, I feel great. I'm going to the library, to the cafeteria. Talking to people in the line that I don't even know. Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? You feeling good today? Everything going good? Like, there was no, the effects were 100% positive. Like what I got from it, right? It would 100% change my life, right? If I continue staying on it. I remember my gauge for how well it worked was, I did my entire semester of homework in like the first 2 weeks or so, maybe 3 weeks, just because they gave me the syllabus. And I'm like, well, I took the Adderall and I feel like I should be doing something. So let me go do my homework today. They already gave it to me. Why not do it all? Why not do all of it? Right? So that was something I realized. I would probably not do that in any other situation. And I would always clean whenever I took it, right? I would clean. I was alert. I was friendlier. I was doing more homework. I was more attentive. So I'm like, okay, these are very positive things. The reason why I stopped taking it, right? Now, this could be a personal thing because I kind of been thinking about this lately too. But the reason I stopped taking it was because every day, every single time after I took it, it doesn't matter how much I took or where I took it at, whatever, I felt like I was hit by a truck. Like, I would be so exhausted. I couldn't even move. I just wanted to lay in the bed. I felt like my body was sore. I wanted to sleep. I was mildly irritated. I was like, bruh, I don't even want to talk to nobody. I would sleep for hours after I took it, right? Now, the weird thing about it is, even though I knew if I took the Adderall again, it would get me out of that feeling, but my body didn't want to take it. So now, why would that be the case? If I know that I'm feeling like shit and I can take this pill and I will no longer feel like shit, why would I not take the pill? I feel there's a reason for that, right? So, and how I kind of gauge Adderall, is telling somebody in the gym who maxes out at 200 or who maxes out 100 pounds lifting it, to tell them to lift 180 pounds, 190 pounds, 200 pounds, right? That's kind of what it reminds me of, where my body wasn't strong enough or prepared enough to either to be that alert or to be that sociable. I didn't have the muscle to do it. So whenever I would take it, I would always feel like, damn, I was doing so much work yesterday. I was so tired to focus on this thing all day long. And I felt like it would be a lot better if I was able to pick up the skill of focusing that much myself. And of course, it would be a lot harder to do. But I always felt like it would be a healthier option. And that's how I feel about most things when it comes to any kind of drug. I feel like they're all cheat codes to achieve an outcome that you can achieve by yourself. And I feel like whatever you achieve by yourself will be greater than what you get from the thing. Like a person that is very like focused and alert probably would smoke someone on Adderall, because you have like, one thing that would always happen with the Adderall, which is what almost all drugs, which is why I don't like them, you're going to want to take more of it, right? Because your body naturally gets accustomed to whatever drug you're taking. So you're going to increase over time. So when I first started, it was like, I think it might have been, I took a fourth of one pill, right? Then it's like, okay, I'm taking half a pill. Then I'm taking a full pill. Then it's a pill and a half. Then it's just take 2 pills. And I'm like, because I wasn't getting that feeling of, oh man, I'm ready to go out to kill a day today. I didn't feel it. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me just take 2 and I'll feel fine. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling fine. But I remember thinking to myself, like, damn, I used to take like half of this to feel this way. Now I gotta take 2. What stopped me from getting a 3, 4, or 5 or getting a higher dosage? Now I'm taking 20 milligrams. Now I gotta take 80 milligrams or 100 milligrams. And then at that point, am I taking 100 milligrams, a half a pill? Or am I taking a full pill of 100 milligrams? Am I taking a pill and a half of 100 milligrams? So it's like, it just kept going up and up. And I'm like, this doesn't seem sustainable for me to continue doing for a long period of time, especially because my body would feel the way it felt afterwards. So I say this all to say, so I frown upon things like that, right? So for Alex, I see that he's on TRT, which is testosterone, right? Testosterone replacement therapy. So it's like steroids. He's on nicotine, right? So nicotine patches. This one is, I mean, it's kind of in the air because everybody does it's kind of acceptable, but drinks coffee all the time. And he said that he even tried to chew, I think he was chewing tobacco or whatever they call it, other word for it, to get more energy, right? And I'm like, okay, that is not something that I would want people to replicate. Like if I had a child or a friend, I would not suggest them to be like replicate this behavior, because like I said, I feel like it's scapegoating the actual work that goes into achieving the actual muscle of being content, of being happy, of being focused, of being energetic or whatever. Like for me, the biggest thing I remember was when I was in college and I had started. I think I drank. Did I drink? Maybe it was weed. I think it was weed. So, bro, I had some funny. I don't think I ever told you this, but there was a time. I definitely think I told you this. Maybe I did. That's kind of funny. Was that me? I feel like that might have been me. So I was in my friend's dorm room. One of his friends' dorm room, and we were sitting in a circle passing around a blunt. I guess that's what it's called, right? I don't know what they're called. A swig. Okay. And they were already smoking like crazy in the air. So the room had mad weed, right? So I think I'm getting secondhand high already off top just by being in the room. But now I'm sitting in a circle. We're passing around the thing. So there was a point in time where I had two of them at the same time. And I was smoking both of them at the same time. So needless to say, I was pretty high, right? And I was so high, I chased Hunter around the school. I told you this?
No, maybe.
So I don't even know why I was doing this. I chased him around the school. He ran outside, and I wasn't chasing him like aggressively. I was like, I'm gonna get you, like running around the school. So he ran outside, and I tackled him into the grass for no reason, just because I'm high, right? But that was one experience, right? Another time I think I had edibles on the train. And I remember feeling high, and there was a guy on the train. He looked real mean, aggressive, hood guy. He's like, he don't want. I don't smile because that's for bitches. Bitches smile. I don't smile, right? He had that face on. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him, and I'm just kind of like. And I just remember looking at him, right? And he was looking at me. But like I said, he had that like, the fuck you looking at look, right? And I'm looking at him like, he looks really mad. So I like smile, start waving at him like this, right? He's like, he's like, bitches don't smile. He's looking at me, he's just staring at me, right? And I'm just like, and I'm like, right? And he's like, at some point he just kind of was like, he gave like a head nod back. And I felt like, okay, how do I get that without having to be high? Like, how do I have that ability to just kind of ignore the fact that this person is mean mugging me and still be able to have that kind of kindness or fun towards them, right? But that showed me that it was possible to do. Because before that, if somebody looked at me like that, I'm like obviously he got something wrong. Something's going on in his life that he don't want to talk about. I'm gonna let him rock, right? That would be my natural thing. So I wouldn't have even known that by doing that, the person would have either smiled back or head nodded back or whatever, right? So once I learned that, I'm like, oh, okay. And same thing with drinking. It just unlocked the drinking was dancing. That's what I learned. That's what I learned that one. I started drinking at this club, at this school event I went to, and there was jungle juice, which man, oh man, that should be legal to make. They made it in a tub. It was they just had like, was it a tub? I don't think it was like a bin. I don't think it was a tub. I heard that they do it in a tub though, which is crazy. That's wild. And they were just mad random stuff. And I remember drinking it, and I was like I was like, oh, I took one drink, like one shot or whatever. I was like, wow, this is crazy that I feel like that. Like my whole body just like loosened up when I did that. And at the party, I'm dancing. I'm not dancing with nobody. I'm just like playing like beer pong or something like that. But I'm dancing to the music while I'm playing it. And I'm like, okay, I can be this loose and nothing has changed about my life or anything. I'm like, okay, I would have naturally not done that because I'm like, I'm just chilling on the corner or chilling on the corner, like chilling on the side, watching everybody else dance or whatever. So so when I did these things, I learned that there's another side on the other side of it. So I've always tried to find a way to bring it out of myself naturally. And it's always, of course, it's going to be harder to do. But I feel like those things kind of gave me the insight to go, oh, this is possible. Let me see how I can recreate this myself. And I think I've done an okay job at most of it. Like, you might get like a hip swing out of me at a party, but I'm not like dancing like that. I definitely am a lot more sociable, funny enough, than when I was younger. There's that. And I do think that I have the ability to be more focused. I think that I just have to create an environment that allows me to keep and maintain that focus. I think that's the only difference as far as the thing before. But like I said, I think that there's a trade-off between the two. So like I said, back to him, it's like, I don't think that is the proper way to live, right? So that's one. Two, I am very, very, very much against plastic surgery. Very much. I'm so far against it that I might consider not talking to a friend because his girlfriend got plastic surgery. Like, that's kind of where I'm at with it, where it's like, bro, what kind of man would you be that you would be like, it's okay for my girl to get plastic surgery? How do you end up with a girl that wanted to get plastic surgery? On top of the fact, in their situation, they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So this goes to what we talk about all the time on the podcast, where I don't think women should work. Right? I say this all the time. Women can have hobbies. They can do things that they enjoy doing. But I feel like when it comes to work, it's just an unnatural thing, right? It just goes against their core. I can't really explain it, but that's what I've seen. But women will work, and some women will outwork men, it happens all the time. But I feel like there's more of a weight on them when that happens than it will be on a guy. So with her, I feel like a lot of the content she was making, people felt like she sounded like a guy, like actually physically like a guy, but probably also the content that she was giving sounded kind of like it was masculine. And I think that all of those things breed like insecurity in her. So she's running a $100 million, $200 million company, right? She is working out. So she's kind of muscular. She used to be in the what would you call it? Like bodybuilding space, right? So then they said her voice got deeper. So it's like, okay, then you get online and people are flaming her for her voice and how she looks. To me, I feel like as a guy, you fail. Like once your woman gets plastic surgery, you failed. Like you 100% failed. You could like leave, but I feel like you have already failed. You have to figure out what is happening in your relationship with her that she's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut off my nose and put a new one on. I'm going to cut off my butt and throw some implants in there. Because it's like the whole argument that people do things for themselves, especially women, is not true. They want to be perceived as beautiful by men. That's the majority of why they do things. You can't tell me you're going to get a BBL for yourself. For what? It's gonna make you. What's it gonna make you do? Look better for who? Like you look better for yourself? You're not doing it for that reason. You're doing it because other people will tell you like, damn, you got a fat ass. You think a guy can be like, oh my god, your ass so fat. Let me get with you. You see people on Instagram with fat ass. Like, oh, they got a lot of likes. I'm gonna get a lot of likes. But it's not. It's not for you, right? So I'm like, okay. If your girl feels like she's not beautiful enough in your relationship that she has to go out and get surgery, that only leads me to believe that you're not showing her that like there's an issue there. Like that's a bigger issue, and I feel like than anything else. For it to be that extreme, for someone to go and get plastic surgery, it's a big thing. So all of that, and I'm also not a fan of I don't want to say guru space, but like the course space. He made millions of dollars off of selling courses, right? So it is what it is. And he's actually launching, or he partnered with a company who is going to be selling courses online. So it seems better than a regular course situation. It seems more like an online school, but it's kind of like it's the same situation. So for me personally, that's just why I am not a fan of him. And I might reference him here or there, but I don't talk about him much because of that. I just feel like even though it's a hard bar to achieve, I do feel like we have an obligation to help other people in the right way. Like if you help somebody become a millionaire, but they lose their family or they lose themselves in doing it, did you really help them? Like, not really. So that's kind of how I look at it. And I feel like it's possible to get all the things you want in life while also, you know, being able to not have to do it with drugs or get plastic surgery. So that's kind of my take on it. And it's probably other like small things that I've seen. I'm just kind of like, you know. But again, I think from the business perspective, he's doing phenomenal. Like the content space, he's doing things that, I mean, you know, if I was in that position, I would have done it. You know, he's doing the things that I would have done if I was there. Like the vlogging, I think is great. Going on multiple podcasts, I think is great. Having multiple content on different platforms, shorts coming out every day is great. He's working on getting his content, long form content, better and being better for YouTube videos. So that's great. These are all good things and they're all working. Like I'd be like, damn, that was a good move. Like that's crazy. And I thought it was kind of cool. He bought a building with the word acquisition.com on. So those things I respect. I respect that part of it. Just the accomplishments that he's had, I respect that. But as a person, you know, and the biggest sign for me when I first heard about him was when he said that he doesn't want to have a kid, and then his wife said the same thing. And I'm like, now, if we being honest, right? And this is what I was saying before. As a woman, it's almost ingrained to have a kid. The only time that a woman would not have a kid is if she felt she would be unsafe in having that kid. That is the only time that she would have that. She would be like, you know what? I don't really think now's the best time to have a kid. I don't have any money. I don't have any place to put the kid. I don't have nobody to watch the kid. If you have him who looks the way he does, you making all this money, you have the freedom to more or less do anything, and you don't feel comfortable to have a child, that's crazy. That means that something is off. But they have kind of changed their tune a little bit on that. Before, like, no, we're not having kids. Now it's kind of like, man, you know, if it happens, you know, it happens. And I'm just like I said, it's better. It's definitely better than before. But that's my issue that I have with them. But that leads to my next topic about the capacity of women emotionally. I have been trying to figure this out for probably like 8 years now or so, right? And it started with me learning how to talk to women, how to get girls, and run a game. It started with that. And I remember when I read the book, I was doing the things. It didn't feel right. I was getting what I wanted. I was getting girls' numbers. We were having sex on the first day. They was going crazy over me. I'm like, okay, this is like working, but I'm like, something seems off here. Something doesn't seem right. And I think that it was for me to be at that point, I had to pretty much have no emotion. Like that was pretty much how I got there. Like I don't like. If I feel something, it doesn't matter. Just do the thing, right? And a big one for me was, it's so funny. Guys might know this, what I'm talking about, but it's an extreme level. You can't, at this point, you can never let a girl see you in pain, right? You can't let that happen. And you have to pass all the many tests that she has out there, that she comes up with. And you have to be a man at all times, right? These are the things like back then. So I remember there was a time where this girl was at my house, right? We were talking kind of seriously, and she wanted to go outside, right? She's like, we've been in the house all day, you know, but she's like, I want to go outside. It's been, right? So now, mind you, right? You probably like, what's wrong with going outside? Nothing. It wasn't raining. It was nice weather outside. It was good. You know, it was cool. So why not go outside? Maybe the week before, I broke my ankle and I'm on crutches. And she wants to go walk to the park and sit in the park and eat in the park. Now, I couldn't understand why that would be the case, right? And it's funny because I had my friend had a similar situation where it's like you just have to Don't matter how you feel. It's irrelevant. How you feel does not matter. If she want to go to the park and they have no reason, like, that's what you have to do, because you're doing it for her to make her feel better, right? So, and if you don't do it, this is the thing, you don't necessarily have to do it, right? But the thing is, the response you get from not doing it. That's the thing. So you could not go to the park, but you go stay in the house, and she's gonna complain about a bunch of other stuff that's unrelated to that. Oh my God. Oh, why the TV not working? Oh, I can't even find the remote. Oh, why the eggs is so scrambled, not hard enough? Oh my God, I can't. That's what's gonna happen. But it's only happening because you decide to stay in the house instead of going to the park, right? So I felt like something that doesn't seem right. Something seems off with that. And since then, up until now, I've heard it on the podcast before, I've been trying to understand emotions more. And a thing that I've learned when it comes to women is that, and this is from back then, is that they get real goofy. When they like you, they get goofy. Their brain just shuts off and it don't work no more, right? And back then, I didn't understand. I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm like, in my head, I'm 21. You're an adult. You're 20 years old. How all of a sudden you just don't know how to do nothing no more, right? And the other big thing for me was the emotional swings that they would have. Like, why is something this small make you this upset? That was one girl I was talking to. We were coming home from the train, and it was the craziest thing. We're walking down the street, probably like 50 feet, 100 feet maybe in front of us. A raccoon comes out of somebody's house, like out of their yard, and crosses the street. She starts screaming and runs home. We go to my mom's house. She runs to my mom's house. And I was laughing because I'm like, this is not serious. Like, you weren't in any danger. The raccoon was nowhere near you. Why are you running to the house for the raccoon? That's crazy, right? And I got home. She was crying. And my mom was like, I didn't handle it right. And she was mad at me because I was laughing. And I'm just kind of like, the raccoon didn't even run at you. It crossed the street. It was nowhere near you. I don't understand why you responded like that, right? So that's just one example. And it's been a whole bunch of these. And I'm like, this does not make sense to me. But in the last year, I've come to the understanding that, or at least a belief that, women have a higher capacity for emotion. And I think that they have a level of empathy that men cannot reach. And they have an ability to connect with other people on a level deeper than any man could ever do. Right? And I think what comes with that is, if you watch any anime, for people out there, a lot of animes will have a situation where there'll be a character who has some type of strong, either a demon inside him or some type of strong power or something, some hidden power inside him, right? And usually it'll make him a lot stronger than everybody around him. But at the beginning, he's always like getting beat up because he doesn't know how to control it or use it. That's how I compare emotions for women, where they have this very huge, what's that word? I can't think of the word, but like a trench of like it's a very deep trench of emotion. And I think that when they feel something, they feel it a lot, like a whole lot. So me being younger, I'm like, y'all are crazy. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's a raccoon. Why are you screaming? Why are you afraid of raccoon like that, right? But because their emotion is, they have so much of it. It's like if someone was to give you a cup of water, and then they say, okay, I want you to keep the water from spilling out this cup. And they turn the faucet on. They go, okay, the faucet is dripping, water get in the cup. And then someone goes, okay, I'm gonna give you a cup too. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this fire hydrant on, and I want you to catch all the water in the cup. To me, that's women's emotions. And it's like, okay, I say this all the time too. This is why I think that women are more powerful than men. They just don't they have to reach that potential to do it because of that emotional capacity that they have. So now when I look at women, I look at it from a different perspective. Before, when I was younger, it was kind of taught that men are just better than women. Like, not better, but like the word I'm looking for. Like, it's not better. I guess I would say better. That's what I would say. That men are better than women because we were only gauging it by things that men do. And so if I'm looking at it like, you can't lift 300 pounds, why not? Like, you can't grow to this height, you can't dunk, like, what's wrong with you? Like, you can't control your emotions, like, what you mean? So it's like, oh, okay, that's the perception, especially when you're looking at it from the game of running game, right? So now that I've gotten older, I'm like, they're dealing with a lot more than most guys do, especially because I think that men growing up have been taught how to regulate their emotions, right? And if it's by choice or just by atmosphere, people go, why are you crying? You're a man. Hold that in, figure that out, deal with it, right? So I think that men have a better grasp at doing that, but I don't think that they feel as much as women do. I feel like women, like I said, they feel a lot more. So like I said, the last thing I'll compare it to is someone being injured, where it's like, if your leg is fine and I pluck it, you're not going to feel anything. But if you have an injury and I pluck your leg, you might feel immense pain. That's just because at that point you have a high capacity for pain at that area of your body. So but it has helped me understand women more and be a lot more empathetic to how they feel. I definitely have not mastered it. I don't want to say and act like I haven't, but I think that I'm trending in the right direction and understanding more of like, okay, just understanding what it's probably like to be a woman. That's number one. However, with that being said, I don't want this to get lost in translation, okay? I think that women have the capacity to be more powerful than men, but they have to learn how to have some type of control on their emotion. That's what I think. I feel like I fully understand that it's hard as a woman to control their emotion. I get that, right? But I think that maybe comes from when you're a mother, maybe it's comes from practice, but I think that's a superpower. Like being able to be a woman and being able to regulate your emotions, to me, is crazy, because it's like, okay, you can live in a way where your emotions don't negatively impact you, but you still have the empathy to connect with others on a deeper level than just what they tell you on the surface. And like I said, if you can understand somebody, which is why I would be more empathetic, you can get so much more out of life, because just interaction with people will be better. If you want to, on a success level, people will want to help you out more. People want to be around you more because they'll feel heard, they'll feel understood when you're talking to them. Like, oh, like you get me, like you understand what I'm saying. Like, okay, I can trust you because you do know what I'm saying. Even if you disagree with me, you understand where I'm coming from. And that's what I want to get to. But it's probably hard for me because I'm a guy, and it's probably easier for women. But like I said, it's one of those, like, I mean, is it harder for me? Damn, I don't know. It's probably hard. My capacity is lower, so it might be harder. But a woman's has way more emotion. That was my thing on. There's a thought I had earlier this week about women's capacity for emotions and empathy. But it is you guys' favorite time of the podcast. It is my baby girl's segment, the LOV, the love segment. So I'm gonna let her come on here and do her thing.
I have been working on AI photos, AI photography. When it comes to my course, I am 5 out of 7 right now. I haven't worked on it last week because of how I was feeling, but I'm probably going to work on it this week. But I'm putting extra emphasis on getting the photos done because we need those and they're important. Been coming up with some cool photos, so I'm excited for those to be posted and for you guys to see them. I had a meeting on Monday. It was Martin Luther King Day, and that was an interesting experience. I had 2 meetings in the same day, both with the same company, but one was like a mentorship that was I guess kind of like a pro bono MLK, I'm gonna help some black businesses kind of thing. And it went very interestingly. I ended up having to kind of run the meeting, and then like I was paired with like 4 different mentors that was supposed to help out, and by the end of it only one was still there. So that was, like I said, it's just interesting to say the least. But you know, because I have such a positive experience with my other mentorship that is more of an ongoing thing, I definitely feel like it just kind of it is what it is. I'm not going to give the company, like the entire company, I guess, a bad rap because of like the experience that I had with the first mentorship, the kind of one-off one. So the other thing though I'm kind of sad about is that one of the people the person that was running, or kind of like, that was running the mentorship that I had, she actually got put onto like another project to work on, so she won't be in charge of the ones that I have now. And it kind of sucks because I can already see the difference in communication with her not being in charge of that anymore. And it's very similar to like kind of logical positions in terms of like, okay, the communication was very like, at the end of this meeting, we already know when we're meeting again, blah, 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 blah. This is what we did. This is the notes. This is what we're going to do. Like, she's very on top of that. And it's so interesting how you could kind of take that for granted, or you might think that it's the company, but it's the person. Because now that person's not in that role anymore, and it's not the same interaction, it's not the same kind of level of care and being handled. So I think that's interesting. And for me personally, I like to focus on, I guess, those types of interactions and when we have them and how we present ourselves. So it just kind of, reinforces that for me, where it's like, what kind of person do I want to be, and what kind of experience do I want people to have when dealing with me or dealing with the business? So there's that. When dealing with the AI photos, AI is so interesting, guys. It's so interesting, because you can do a lot with it. I feel like I'm getting better at making the photos, making them more realistic. I'm kind of having more ideas and trying to draw more inspiration. So it's kind of a fun project, in a sense, but it is a bit kind of time consuming, and it's kind of, it could be annoying. It could be annoying when you ask the AI to make a bottle of water and it looks like a palm tree and it's the wrong color. But it could also be pretty cool, because sometimes, you tell the AI to do something, it does something else, and it actually comes out pretty nice. So you just never know what you're going to get. You just kind of roll the dice each time, and you wait a couple seconds to see what happens. And it's like, can I make an image from this or not? I'm excited to see what comes from the shorts that Donovan has been working on, because people are interacting with it. It's getting more eyes, it's getting more viewers. I'm thinking it's just interesting because each platform kind of requires different things, and I could kind of see, like, I think Instagram is such an interesting thing where it's like it's at its core, it's still like a photo platform. So it's kind of like, I wonder if that's the reason why people are like responding the way that they are, or maybe, I don't know. It's just, there's more information to now come up with ideas and, try to figure out what this means. Like, now we got to make sense of the madness. And also, whenever Donovan posts like the video on Instagram, it actually goes up on Pinterest as well. So that is kind of being helped on that front. We are working on a lot of things in terms of research and development for the products, which is pretty cool. So there's the refills. I haven't made any progress on that because I'm just now finishing my period. So I had to take a little time off. I'm going to be able to work on the refills and kind of finish ideating that and all of that stuff. I'm wearing my Fitbit. It's been pretty cool to have it. My Fitbit yells at me to tell me that I'm stressed out. And I seem to be in a perpetual state of stress. So they have like this readiness score that means like, okay, it lets you know if you're ready to do any intense workouts. And pretty much I'm never ready. I'm always at 1 out of 30 because I'm already stressed or in an intense state. What else? I've been tracking my sleeping. I feel like my sleep has gotten better and I don't feel as tired as when I wake up. But you know, there's always, I don't feel as tired when I wake up, so that's a good thing. I wish I had more results to see, but I don't, so that kind of sucks. But yeah.
So it was a tweet I saw that said, so my wife and I left graduate school 23 years ago with a combined, why he tweeted this 2 times? With a combined total of $70,000 in debt. Since then, we've made $500 monthly payments for 23 years, $120,000 plus. Today, we still owe $60,000. Explain to me again why student loan debt shouldn't be canceled. So someone responded to that by saying, pretty sure the reason the Bible bans interest is because it's impossible for more than 50% of the human population to understand it at a conceptual level. It winds up being inherently exploitational just as a consequence of IQ distribution curves. And I found it to be very interesting because I feel like I am definitely a person that has struggled with interest in a philosophical manner, like in a conceptual level. I understand it on a numbers basis, but I've always said that I think that there is more to money than just giving you a dollar bill or whatever. I think that it comes with energy. I think that money is a transfer of energy from person to person. So for there to be interest on there, I think that there is a deeper level of meaning to interest. I just don't know what that is. And I'm curious what the Bible actually talks about when it comes to interest, like what they say or why they say interest is a bad thing. And I'm just like on a philosophical level, why is interest bad? And my guess is that
it's not fair.
It's not, maybe, because they look at it as like, okay, I'm giving you $1 and I could spend $1 somewhere else to make money, but I'm giving it to you. So I'm going to make money from giving it to you because I'll be spending it to invest into another company. That's how they look at it.
It's still not fair.
Why is it not fair?
Because you gave me $1 and I'm giving you more than $1 back. What you could have did with it, you could have lost money on it with whatever you bought too. Like that doesn't really matter. It's I think at like a basic level, that's why this was wrong with it. You're getting back more than you gave. Like to require it. If somebody wants to gift you more because they're grateful or because they want to, that's something different.
So okay, so I agree. So what would that be called though? Like what is that? Like why is that bad? Like I understand like
it's not balanced. It's an imbalance. How did you get more than you gave?
Okay, so that's what it is. That makes a lot of sense. It definitely is. It's a balance thing. That's 100% what the issue is, which is funny because the bank calls it your balance, and they always want you to balance.
Right.
So the interest, like you said, is unbalanced. So it puts and that's what I'll be saying, where it's like things are happening so deep on a level that we don't even understand. Like one thing I always find interesting is might butcher this word, but the etymology of words and what they actually mean, because a lot of people will use words and not know where the definition of that word came from or the meaning of it or the purpose that it was created for. So people who use the word with the understanding of it are benefiting from knowing the definition of the word and how it's supposed to work. But the people that don't are saying things like, oh yeah, you know, I can't think of one right now, but I mean, like we just said, balance is one right there. Balancing your checkbook. Why use that word? I pull something else. Why not call it matching your checkbook? Why I call it balance? So like I said, it's supposed to be some type of equilibrium when it comes to energy of money or whatever. Like I said, it's a whole lot of words. The biggest one, I won't say this because I can't think of a word right now off the top of my head, but I know that a lot of times if I look at words and they tie into Latin or like a I don't know if it's Roman or England, something like that, they're usually like, what the fuck? Why does this mean that over there? Why do they look at these words like this? So maybe next time I look it up, I'll find some words that I think that have some type of cross meaning that we use differently than what it actually used for. But the people that use the word, that know the word, use it for what it's supposed to be used for. So, like, where did the word bank come from? I'm gonna look it up. What is the etymology of bank? Okay, so it's German. That's number one. Derived from the Italian word banco, or from a French word banqui, which means a bench or a money exchange table. Interesting, right? Which is, like I said, it's interesting that they would, like, the bank is the counter, but we don't look at it like that. But
you gotta go up to the counter.
You do, but I'm like, because they could have had it be any other. It could be a table. It could have been some. It don't have to be. It don't have to be a counter. So I just think that that's funny that there's a counter there. I mean, and like I said, every bank has that. So you got a bank counter, go up to the teller, they got the money back there, they give it to you, and that's, so, I don't want to get too deep into it right now on the podcast, but it's, like I said, it's funny things like that I just look at and have a little laugh. So, you know what it is, hashtag Bamboo Project 2024, changing the environment. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.